Now let's take a look at fetching an entire list of products. And I know these pictures are the same, but we do have different titles. We've got awesome soft chips and handmade soft tuna. The prices are different. But what we're going to do is fetch a list of products and then have those link through to the product page. And when we go back to the home page, we fetch the list again. So in order to get a list of products, if we go back over to Mock API, we access that with the /products URL. So I've actually got that open in my browser over here. So I've actually also added some string queries here, but the /products URL will give us a list of all of our products unpaginated with no limits. So there's just a lot of products here. Now you might want to actually limit this. So I'm going to add in these two string queries, which is page is equal to 1 and limit is equal to 10, and that will give us 10 products on the first page. So now we should have 10 of these products. And if I want to go to page 2, then I just change the pagination up here to page 2, page 3, etc. And that will give us the next page of products. So we've actually got a URL that we can paginate with. So now what I'm going to do is let's open up our home page. And I'm going to replace some of the content that's in here. The first thing we want to do is maybe make this title a little more product friendly. So I'm going to jump back over to my app and let's change the title here to be something like best sellers. And that obviously is a little bit more related to products. So we'll get a list of our best sellers, 10 of our best sellers. And then we can remove the hello world component because we're not going to need that anymore. But we are going to make use of some dynamic content, something similar to what we have on the product page. So let's actually open that up and we can probably compare some of the differences here. But you can see that we created let content equals null. And depending on what state our Axios request was in, we actually changed the content and output that on the page. So we're going to do the same thing for our home page, right? We're going to output a variable called content down here, and then we can dynamically change that. So I'm going to just declare that up here as well. So let content equal null, and that should still keep working. We've just got a title with no content on our page. So the next thing we want to do is we actually want to reuse a lot of what we've got on the product page because we want to send through an Axios request and fetch all of that data. So what I'm going to do is let's copy what we have on the product page. So I'm going to just copy all of this stuff down, and we're going to get a bunch of errors here. So we're going to have to work through all of those as we go. But I also want to use the use effects because we want to send through an Axios request. So let's also pull that in. And now, because we're actually using this twice in two different places, it might make sense to extract this out to one place where we can reuse it. But we'll take a look at doing that in a couple minutes. Let's just get this working for now. So if I hit save, you'll notice that I get a couple errors. So we've got use params is not defined, and that's because we're using a URL parameter up here, but our homepage doesn't have any URL parameters. So let's get rid of that line. And if we save this now, we'll still have a couple more errors. So ID is not defined. We're actually going to be using a completely different URL. We're going to be using this URL over here to get a list of products. So let's actually paste this in, and that will get rid of that error. Then we've got use effect, use state, and Axios are not defined. So let's go back over to our product page and we'll import these two lines, and we can actually just paste that over here. So we've got React, use state, use effect, and Axios, all three of those. So now if we save, hey, no more errors. But we have also sent through a network request to the products page, and we can probably take a look at that. So we've gone to products with a page of 1 and a limit of 10, and that's given us these 10 products over here. So if we want to take a deeper look into that, we've got an array of 10 items, and each one of these items has got the product specific information. So now we can actually use that information. Now we can start taking a look at outputting this data, and then we will clean up our component. So the first thing I want to do is let's change the const here, because we're actually going to be looping through an array of products. We're no longer getting one product, we're getting more than one product. So it's going to be products, and then we'll change the method here to be set products. And of course, we'll change it everywhere where we're using it. So set products, and set products. So if we save this now, that should still continue working. Then the next thing we want to do is, again, borrow a little bit more content from the product page. So the first thing I want to do is check if there are some products, and if there aren't, or if the products have an error. And we're also going to borrow the loading. So if the products are currently loading, let's output something. So let's take that content and paste that down here below where we've actually declared content. And let's just check for products.error and products.loading. So if I save this now, okay, we have an error. Loading is not defined. So we just need to make sure that we import loader from components and loader. Okay, so now we actually have our loader appearing just fine, and we should also have an error appearing just fine if we maybe put in the wrong URL. So our error still works as well. Great. So now we know that these two work. Let's take a look at actually getting the content. So the last thing we'll do is take a look at the products.data check, and we'll paste that down here. And we're obviously also going to check if products has data. And if it does have data, for now, these aren't actually going to work. So if I save this, I should get an error. So product is not defined. That's because, well, we've got products there, but even if I were to change these names, they wouldn't work. So let's just output there is some data. And of course, now we know that there's actually some data there. We want to loop through that data. So instead of returning a div, let's map through products.data, because we know that that is an array. So products.data.map, and then this will take in two arguments. The first argument is going to be the singular name for each item that we loop through, which is going to be product. And the second item is going to be the key. So that is actually our index of which product we're currently on in the array. And then this will return some HTML, or some JSX rather. So what we can do here is then create a div and output the current product name. And that's going to have to be surrounded in curly braces. So we're getting that product from that product over there. And this product is a singular version of that product, or that array of products. Great, so now we actually have a list of all of our products' names. The next thing we want to do is actually create a nice little template for this. And I think the best thing to actually do for this is to just create a product card. So let's open up our files here, and in components, let's create a new file, and we'll call that product card.js. And so this will actually return a card of our products. And of course, now all I need to do is paste in some standard React boilerplate code for creating a component. And if we save this, we can go back over to the home page, and I can replace this with my actual component. So let's import that. Hopefully it's imported up here. And now we can close that off. And what I want to do is I actually want to accept in some props. So we're going to pass the product in as a prop, and then start displaying all that data down here. So we can go back over to the home page, and let's pass in a product prop, and that will be the current product that we are on. And if we save this, we can go back over to product card, and we can start outputting some of that data. So if I access props.product.name, I can also access props.product.price, and that should output the name and the price. So now let's actually format this, and I'm going to quickly just paste in a little bit of code one by one, and I'll explain as I go along. But the first thing I want to do is return a div with a border, and it's going to have some rounded corners, and it's going to have overflow hidden. It'll also have a margin bottom on the bottom of the card. The next thing I want to do is I actually want to output a product image, and I'm going to use a background image. So let's just paste this in, And you'll see that we're making use of a style attribute here, and this is taking in an object, which is why there's double curly braces, and we're passing through a background image. So that's the background image CSS property as an object, and we're then supplying in a URL, but we're making use of backticks here so that we can use variables in a string. And in this case, we're just passing in the first image within the product images array. So saving this then gives us a background image that should load in, and that has rounded corners. The next thing I want to do is I actually want this div to be a link that will link us to the product page. So what I'm going to do is just paste that in. And so now this is going to link us to the product page, supplying the argument of the product's ID up here in the URL. And again, we're making use of backticks so that we can pass a variable as a string in JavaScript. So saving this now will result in an error. So what we need to do is import link from React Router DOM. And so now this image should actually be a link. If we click on it, it should take us through to the product page. So the second image took us to product 2. And if we go back over to one of these other images down here, that takes us to product 4. The next thing you'll notice is now that we can actually scroll, my footer is scrolling up the page. So we'll take a look at fixing that towards the end of the video. But for now, let's continue just fixing this card. So the next thing I want to do is we will create a div with a padding of 3. And so that's going to house the rest of our product content. So the first thing I want to do is paste in the product's heading, and that's got some CSS classes just to make it bold and large. And then we're linking to the same link that we have up here, which is just to the product page with the argument of the product ID. We've also got the product name in the heading. The next thing we're going to do is add in the price below that heading. Let's just indent that. And then the last thing I want to do, or second last thing I want to do, is add in the product description. So saving this now should give us a title, a price, and a description. And then I think we can also add in a button at the bottom of our card. So this is just going to be a link with a few classes to make it look like a button, and it's going to have the text view. So if we save that now, we have a card that when we click on the view button, takes us through to the product page. So now if we take a look at the console, you'll notice that we have list should have a unique key. So there's a warning in the console here. And that's just because whenever you work with a loop in React and you're looping through elements, the top level element needs to have a key so that React can identify that element and when to re-render that element. So what we want to do is just add in a key, and we can set that equal to key. In this case, that is the index of our array. We could also get rid of that key itself and just use the product.id as the key instead, and saving that will get rid of that error. And so now we don't have any errors there, but we still have this weird issue with the footer. So let's fix that. And I think in order to do that, we're just going to have to open up app.js. And the reason why this is happening is because that footer actually has a class of absolute. So it's positioned absolutely at the bottom of the screen. So what we want to do is fix it by taking the parent element of the footer, which is also the parent level element of our app. And we are going to add in a class of relative, and that should make the footer display all the way down at the bottom of the page. But now you'll notice there's a bit of a spacing issue there. So we're going to give that a class of pb10 for padding bottom 10, and that should fix the spacing issue. So now we've actually got a bit of space between this last card and the footer. But if we go to the product page now, the footer doesn't display at the bottom of the page anymore, and that's because this app should probably just be a minimum height of the screen. So there is a class for that in React called min_h_screen, and that will push that down to the bottom. But again, if we go back over to the home page, the footer's still down there. It's not scrolling with our content. So that was one little finishing touch. I think in the next video, we will take a look at cleaning up some of the code over here. So we will make it that we're not repeating the use effect in both the homepage and the product page, because that's quite a lot of code to be reusing. And so that's all I have for you in this video, but please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and of course, if you like the content I create, please consider clicking that join button or supporting me on Patreon. It really would mean a lot to me, and I'll see you guys next time.